Ariane 6 gets ready, vast space station module starts its test campaign, SpaceX starbase update, SAST flies its reusable first stage, what is happening with the two lunar landers right now, and Miura 5 ready to test, launches of the week. I'm Christophe Paget from All About Space, and this is your space update. Ariane 6 has been preparing for his next launch for his military customer DGA, planned on February 25th, 2025. So far, the two side boosters and the first stage were moved to the assembly building in Kourou in French Guiana. The payload, an observation satellite called CSO-3, has also been delivered to the site. The second stage was delivered in Kourou in late November 2024, awaiting stacking to the first stage. And what is left to do is the wet dress rehearsal, payload encapsulation inside the fairings, and placed on top of the rocket. I will, of course, cover this launch in the next episodes. Vast Space has been working on his space station module called Haven 1. The whole structure is now produced and welded together, along with the various fittings such as the access door and the cupola. Vast is now in the process of inflicting the structure with severe loads to mimic the effort received during both transport into space and those in space operation. Vast is still targeting sending his module to space in 2025, a very challenging objective indeed. Late December last year, Vast was already preparing his future with a deal made with SpaceX to launch two human spaceflight missions with his Dragon capsule to the International Space Station in the same fashion as Axiom is doing. The commercial space program is growing fast. At Starbase now, the booster number 14 was installed onto the launch mount shortly after the catch. Then it was removed and transported to the production site for checks. The chopstick frame for tower number 2 was transported to the launch site to be readied for mating with its chopsticks prior to being installed to the tower. Soon after, the tower number 2 Mechazilla arms or chopsticks were transported to the launch site as well, as one could expect, and the assembly started days later. At the Massey site, the Starship number 34 has carried out two campaigns of cryogenic tests, which happened shortly after Elon Musk mentioned on X.com about a few leaks of the Starship number 33, which potentially caused the explosion in space. Starship number 34 finally returned to the production site that week. The Shanghai Academy of Spaceflight Technology, or SAST for short, is a branch of CASC. SAST has successfully tested back on the 23rd of June 2024 is Longsing rocket, a liquid methane and oxygen fueled rocket. Longsing means dragon fists and has been identified as the reusable rocket version for the Long March 12A. It has achieved a 12-kilometer vertical takeoff and landing safely back in the Gobi Desert. This week, the Longsing 2 rocket was set to ascend for 75 km and vertical land shortly after in Heiyang in China. This rocket did not include landing legs as it was expecting to land on water. The Longsing 2 rocket took off around 3 a.m. UTC on January the 19th and was filmed by the company ascending. However, the footage was cut short, removing the outcome of the rest of the flight. Several days later, no announcement has been made, indicative of bad news, I am afraid. Now, let us have some news about the two lunar landers sent by a Falcon 9 on January the 15th. Firefly Blue Ghost vehicle is in good health and its thrusters test was nominal. The telemetry works well, and you can see in fact a view from the Blue Ghost of the Earth eclipsing the Sun for a second or so. Now, all is well so far with this lunar vehicle. The other lunar lander, called Resilience from iSpace, is also in good health, and here is a picture of it on his long journey. I will not mention more this week and the next weeks, in fact, unless something wrong happens, and I will of course cover their landing attempts. So do subscribe and you will get to know if they succeed. Now here is an update of the Spanish rocket Miura 5. They have just completed the design and manufacture of the second stage fuel tank and even completed the non-destructive inspection and are ready for testing at their test site in Teruel, halfway between Madrid and Valencia. The company's CEO has mentioned that the first stage tanks will be ready next month for testing before entering serial production. It is remarkable how fast PLD is progressing. The CEO emphasized that producing the small Miura 1 was clearly a huge lesson learned and allowed decreasing the development length. January 17th, CSC launched a Long March 2D from China for its mission PRSC-E01. January 20th, Galactic Energy launched his Ceres 1 from China for his mission On Your Shoulders. January 21st, SpaceX launched a Starlink mission Group 13-1 from Florida. The first stage flew for his 8th time and landed on a drone ship. The footage is rather rubbish. Someone at SpaceX has forgotten, intentionally or not, to switch the video recording on. And on the same day, SpaceX launched another Falcon 9 from California for his Starlink mission Group 11-8. The first stage flew for his 10th time and landed on a drone ship. That was the 400th landing of a Falcon 9 booster. Not a bad achievement and great for the environment. Let it be an example for the rest of the rocket providers in the world. January 23rd, CSC launched a Long March 6A from China for his mission G60 Polar Group 4, and on the same day, CSC launched a Long March 3BE from China. In summary, from January 1st until January 23rd, 2025, 17 rockets were launched successfully. Out of that, 11 were from an American company or institution, and 6 from China. I leave you this week with a spectacular view of the James Webb Space Telescope of the Cassiopeia A supernova remnant. Once upon a time, there were massive stars here at the edge of our Milky Way galaxy. After these stars have died and exploded, their remnants are now collapsing from vast cosmic clouds, creating on its path numerous sources of ignitions, creating heavy elements in their cores. Now, this cloud is dispersing, ready to start forming new stars. This is known as the final phase of the stellar life cycle. The light generated from such a supernova explosion would have been seen from Earth some 350 years ago, according to these university researchers, although it took that light 11,000 years to reach us. That is how far it is. The whitish, smoke-like ring is about 20 light years across. Thank you for watching your channel All About Space. See you at the next episode of Space News.